Hello and welcome to episode number 3 of TechieSmarts Tech Toolbox. In this episode we're going to discuss offering remote support to your friends and family using Teamviewer. First off, let's go ahead and discuss a few of the pros of using this method. For me, pro number 1 is cross-platform compatibility. This means that you can support friends and family using Windows, Linux, Mac. There are also iOS and Android clients as well. Pro number 2, no installation of the client is needed for those who need support. In other words, if one of our friends call up and say, hey, I need some help, but they're not that tech savvy, there's no need to sit through a lengthy download or installation and mess with a bunch of settings. They can simply download the quick support client, which is shown on screen, simply execute the file, and give us the user ID and the password, and we're good to go. Pro number 3, Teamviewer is free for personal use. They do ask that if you decide to use this for commercial gain that you need to purchase a license for it. So let's go ahead and jump in and see how to get a hold of Teamviewer, how to set it up, and how to use it to access our friends' computers. First, we need to download Teamviewer. There's numerous clients here, so we need to go ahead and step through that. So go to teamviewer.com and click on the download tab. Once the download page loads up, scroll down a little bit. You'll notice that there are 4 buttons: Windows, Mac, Linux, and mobile. Now be sure you click on the button that corresponds to the operating system for which you're going to be using Teamviewer on in order to support your friends or family. In my case, I'm using a Windows XP VirtualBox install, so I'll click on the Windows tab. As I mentioned a few moments ago, there are numerous clients listed on the Teamviewer website. You can scroll down the web page and you can see everything that they have to offer. We're only going to focus on 2 clients today, one being the full version and one being the quick support. So go ahead and download the all-in-one Teamviewer full version on your computer if you're going to be the one that's going to offer help to your friends and family. For the sake of time, we will not step through installing the full version. Just simply run the executable file and take the defaults, and that should get you squared away. The second client we're going to look at is the quick support client, which should be the second one in the list. This is the one that you want to give to your friends and family. You can put it on a flash drive when you work on their machines or pay them a visit, or you can email them a link to the site. Simply just click on the download button, and the download will take just a second to download. It's just a little under 4 megabytes in size, so depending on your internet speed, it shouldn't take very long at all. Once you have installed the all-in-one client on your machine, this is basically the screen that you'll be greeted with. You'll notice that the interface is fairly simple. We do have 2 tabs. We have a remote control tab and we have a meeting tab. If you need to use Teamviewer for more of a collaboration tool instead of just a remote desktop, you can join a meeting or host a meeting through Teamviewer as well. Just go ahead and click back over on the remote control tab, and let's take a look at the menus across the top. If you click on connection and go to invite partner, this will bring up a window that's got a canned email that you can send to your friend that has a link to the quick support client if they haven't used it before. If you're using something like Outlook or Thunderbird, it'll go ahead and launch so you can send the email, or you can copy it to the clipboard and send it straight through your webmail. There is also the option to set up an unintended access. This will be handy in case you need to help somebody with their computer when they're not at home or while they're asleep or whenever it's good for you. The unattended access basically sets up a trusted connection between you and them. It basically just remembers their credentials for you, so you don't have to enter that in every time you connect to their machine. This can be a security issue, so please only use trusted sources for this. Let's go ahead and take a quick look into some of the options that are hiding under the hood of Teamviewer. That way if we ever need to get in there and mess with some of those settings, we can. Simply come up to Extras and click on Options. One of the first things that you may notice when you launch the options for Teamviewer is that there are quite a few settings that we can change. You can set Teamviewer to launch when Windows starts up if you'd like. You can set what name displays when you help someone. You can set some security passwords, which I actually do recommend. I haven't got around to doing that yet because this is a fresh Windows XP install. We can come in and change some of the meeting options. We can change some of the volume and sound options for voice chat and things of that nature. You can also mess around with some of the settings for the webcam, and there are also some advanced settings as well. Pretty much out of the box, Teamviewer should work straight as it is. If you have any problems, you might want to consult their website and check some of the forums and see if there's something there that needs to be changed. The nice thing about using the all-in-one client for Teamviewer is that you can do both. You can get support or offer support as well. As a test, I will go ahead and connect to my Ubuntu 11.10 VirtualBox install that's also running a client for Teamviewer. To do this, your friend needs to give you their Teamviewer ID and their password, which was given to them by the quick support program. Unless you register with Teamviewer and set up a trusted account in your buddy list for a specific machine, the passwords will regenerate every time the clients are restarted as a security precaution. So let's go ahead and log on. And here in a second we'll be greeted with our remote Ubuntu screen. Do note that when you first log into the machine, you may notice that the wallpaper resolution may look pretty bad. This is optimized for speed. This may clear up if you're using something like Linux. Most of the time with Windows, the wallpaper disappears automatically and it's either a black or like a flat teal color depending on the machine. You will immediately notice that there are two overlays as soon as you make the connection. One's across the top in the center and one's in the bottom right hand corner. The one in the bottom right hand corner is focused a little more on communication. You can do some chatting, some voice chatting, things of that nature through it. You can hide these panels by clicking the little arrow tabs and they'll just simply pull back into the borders of the screen according to their location. Let's come up to the top bar and click on Actions. You'll notice we can do some things like send alt control deletes, key combinations, we can log off, we can do a remote reboot, we can show a black screen, we can disable remote input, we can also come up here and hand control back to the end user and vice versa. They can pass it back to us. So if they've got to show us something, it's really easy just to swap that back and forth. If you're having issues with quality, if it's lagging, that kind of thing, you may want to come over to the views and change the way that it interacts with the internet speed and the bandwidth. You can also come down here and you can select to remove the wallpaper. That's nice to use in case the end user has kind of a crazy looking psychedelic maybe wallpaper that kind of pollutes the screen, especially if you have kind of a lower resolution due to the quality or bandwidth. You can also select to show the remote cursor. That's really handy when using the Android client or the iOS clients on tablets or smartphones because you can see where the cursor's at. On the PC it kind of gets in the way. If you select the audio video menu, you can do some voice chatting, you can share your webcams together, you can do some instant messaging. That's kind of nice to be able to communicate with the people on the other end. Typically I don't have a whole lot of use for this type of communication because usually I'm on the telephone when I'm doing this as well, so that kind of bypasses the whole need for that communication. On occasion you may need to transfer a file from your machine to their machine. You can do that by clicking on the file transfer menu and you can select your options there. And finally we have the extras menu. Here you can capture screenshots, you can also capture video, you can also capture information about the remote machine, the connection, and also the information pertaining to some of the Teamviewer settings. Now do make a quick note that if you need to get some information about that, you can see them, but you can't actually change them. You'll have to do that from the options menu within Teamviewer itself. That's pretty much it as far as navigating Teamviewer and the overlays. Let's go ahead and blow the screen up a little bit and demonstrate that you can actually use the remote machine just as you would if you were in front of it. Here let's just launch a calculator, do 2 plus 2, and we get 4. So that's about it. I've had a lot of luck using Teamviewer. It saved me many trips over to friends' houses and to families' houses late at night, trying to resolve last-minute computer problems. That wraps it up for episode 3. As always, be sure you swing by our website at TechieSmarts.com, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+. You can find all those links in the description of the video below. If you're watching this on our blog, you can find that below the video there as well. So once again, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week, and have a great day.